Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Siddharth Zarabi, and with me today is Mr. Apparao, the Chief Human Resource Officer of HCL Technologies, India's third largest IT exporter. Mr. Apparao, welcome to Business Today Television. A good set of numbers, and the big headline really is that you have kept your deal pace intact. Take us through the highlights really as we begin our conversation.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thanks for having me on your channel. We had a very good quarter, especially the services part. We have grown the last year at a CAGR of 5.2%, which is industry leading. Whereas the products business has some seasonality, as we all understand. And then we are doing well both on the people front as well. We were able to add close to 40,000 people, 39,900 to be precise, the net headcount, which is a 23.6% increase in the previous year's headcount. And our order book is also at an all-time high, especially with the annual contracted values, which augurs well for next year. So that's the reason we have given a healthy guidance of 12 to 14% for next year. So all in all, it's looking good, a good quarter and a year for us, hoping to do better in this year.
Apparao, take our viewers through your sense about the margin miss. There has been a bit of a miss as per expectations. Revenue numbers are in line with expectations. How do you see the environment going ahead, considering all the changes that are happening in the business landscape?
So you are absolutely right. There is a bit of margin reduction that has happened because of two reasons. One is the people costs have increased quite significantly because of the demand environment. So the wage bills have literally have gone up quite a bit, not commensurate to the revenue growth. So that's where we are going back to the customers also and requesting them to pay more, because the cost of hiring and retaining talent has increased. But that will probably take a few quarters. Most of the customers are receptive. We are already seeing some green shoots in that area. But as our CEO and CFO mentioned yesterday in the results, it probably will take a few quarters before we can see some momentum in that area. Temporarily, yes, there is margin pressure. That's the reason the guidance that was given also is 100 basis points lower.
Yes.
But we are looking at, we have taken some steps. And as our CEO mentioned, we do expect to see some improvement starting next quarter.
Mr. Apparao, I want to take this conversation beyond numbers for those viewers who would like to hear from the head of HR of such a large company as yours. Question number one in that context, what explains this tight labor market, and is this likely to continue? Because a lot of people, including those who are looking to build a career in IT, will be very interested in that answer.
Yeah. So last few years, Siddharth, most of the government started looking inwards. So there is very little talent movement that has happened because of strict visa regimes, very few work permits that are being granted. And added to that, the COVID situation has not helped. The travel has become almost zero for a couple of years. So with all this, there was a serious crunch in terms of demand. And from, if you look at the industries also, there are some industries which have flourished during this period, like essential retail, right? I mean, if you look at the Amazons, Walmarts, all these, they have done very well because they have digitalized the entire supply chain and business process. Whereas non-essential retail like fashion or even automotives, manufacturing, all these have taken a significant hit. So now what we are seeing is both these cohorts started investing with a vengeance, because those who have really done well, they have to scale up their platforms. Those who have not adopted technology to the levels that are required are adopting technology. Otherwise, it's a death knell for them. So suddenly we have seen the requirements exploding, right? And where will these requirements get addressed? They will address in places where talent is available, like countries like India. So and the added advantage for customers is, if they are getting $100 job in US, now if they move it to India, they will get 3 to 4 people, not one person. And they don't have a choice also, because talent is available here. So suddenly the Indian market has seen dramatic demand, very pent up demand that has come in. Do I see this sustaining? We do expect, industry experts also say this will sustain for the next 3-4 years at least. So it's good news for all the IT professionals. I mean, they can expect good jobs, growth in roles, growth in compensations. All those things automatically will follow.
I have a couple of follow-ups, but before that, therefore, what is your own hiring outlook for the quarters ahead and for the full year? Is there a number that you can share with us?
So last year, like I told, we added 39,900 net headcount, which is 23.6% increase in headcount. This year, we have given a 12 to 14% guidance. So at the minimum, we will hire 15%. So today we are 227,000 people. So you can look at a 15% increase, which is possibly 35 to 40,000. Another net headcount at the minimum we should add.
And this would be more or less like in line with your peer group in the industry.
Yeah, everyone has given a growth projection which is in double digits. So I do expect this kind of demand from other peer group organizations as well.
Mr. Apparao, now 2 points. One, when you mentioned about strict visa regimes, on a broader context, would I be fair in saying that deglobalization of sort that is happening in the last 2.5 years is negative? Because you also spoke about how India people cannot do with the Indian talent. So how do I reconcile those two statements?
No, so if you look at the way we are expanding, see, when you want talent, there are multiple ways in which we are trying to increase the talent base or hire the talent, right? I mean, one is places like India, where you have in India also, in the last 4 to 5 years, we started 4 centers which are in tier 2 cities like Lucknow, Madurai, Vijayawada, Nagpur. So these are the locations. And today we are 20,000 in those locations, and we are almost growing 30% year on year. Because we see a good talent in those locations. So our concept is take work to the roots where people are, right? So that you are able to manage your talent cohorts well. That is as far as India is concerned. Outside India, we started delivery operations in many countries, which we call new frontier countries, like Sri Lanka. We started 2 years back. Today, we are 2,000 people there. Vietnam, we started in less than a year. We are already 1,000 people there. So Poland, we have 2,000 people. Bulgaria, we have 1,500 people. Mexico, we have 2,000. Brazil, we have 2,500, right? I mean, Guatemala, we have 2,000 people. So we are scaling up globally, because wherever talent is there, we are wanting to go there. Costa Rica, Lithuania, Portugal, right, Bucharest, all these places we have started our delivery centers. We are trying to start in Morocco. So right, Saudi, we are expanding in a big way. So the talent base has spread geographically, right? For example, if you look at the Ukraine crisis that has happened, so there is quite a bit of talent which is moving to other parts of the globe, right? Some are moving to Latin America. Some of them are moving to other European countries. So you need to de-risk yourself. At the same time, you need to scale up yourself for the business.
Interesting you to speak about Ukrainian talent. Are you also managing to hire a few from those people? After all, that country is also a tech powerhouse in many ways.
You're absolutely right. we are not trying to hire from the perspective of business, but we are trying to hire from a humanitarian crisis perspective. So we have, for example, in both Romania and Poland, we have created an open office where people can walk in, show their credentials, and take up a job. So we are supporting people who have moved across the borders, and some 200 families we are providing accommodation for a month, right, so that they can settle down, and we are providing not only food, shelter, logistics, travel, all that we are providing to those people. And there are a lot of, we have around 100 plus Ukrainians working for us, not in Ukraine. We don't have any operations there outside Ukraine. And quite a few of them are staying single in places like Poland. And when this whole war erupted and they moved to their places, for the next 6 months, we are giving them rental support so that they can hire a larger accommodation to keep their families together. So we are doing more from a humanitarian crisis perspective, not so much from a talent acquisition perspective.
Okay. One more question that really arises from this, and this is the broader context of rapid digitalization that we saw post the COVID pandemic. And now we are seeing that many themes and specific companies are now falling out of favor as we reach a combination of a hybrid work environment as well as remote working. How is the work from office, work from home, hybrid work environment shaping up for such a large employer as yours?
Yeah. So, I mean, throughout the last 2 years, the people who were coming to our offices was around 5%, 4%, 5% kind of, right? In some cases, the customers were not interested. In some cases, I mean, employees they have relocated to their places. But as we speak, in the last 1 month, we are seeing increasing numbers. Today, we are hovering around 12 to 15%. Right? It will take a few quarters for people to come back to the base location, start coming to office. But the good thing is, though, on any given day, our attendance is 12 to 15% in office. We are seeing unique employees coming to offices has increased to almost 50%. Right. So I may be attending only 1 day in a week, but if number of unique employees, if I'm looking at, we have 160 and 170,000 people in India, which means 85,000 of them at some point or other in the last 1 month have attended office. So we do expect it will be a hybrid environment, unless otherwise there are situations like customers demanding that they will be in office, or there is some data security issue that has cropped up. So these are some of the unknowns that we have. But otherwise, we do believe that it is likely to be a hybrid environment of probably scaling up to 40 to 50% at max.
So effectively, are you saying that 100% work from office environment is now a thing of the past?
We don't know, Siddharth. Like I said, we need government's approval also for that, because we work in SCG premises, right? I mean, these SCG premises, government is giving permissions from time to time. If government doesn't give extend that approval, then all the people working in SCGs have to come back to office, right? Otherwise, the taxation benefits that are there, they will not be applicable. Right. So it depends on the policies of the government. It depends on the behavior of the customer, and the unknown part is the cybersecurity incidents or data privacy issues that can crop up. Touch wood, so far nobody has reported any major incident.
Right. Let me now come back to the broader context for growth for your firm, the IT sector, and we have seen that revenue in the IT sector, broadly speaking, also tracks economic growth. And as countries and companies invest on greater growth, we see IT revenues also improving. In the current context, we are also seeing a situation where growth forecasts globally are being cut down. Several advanced economies are facing high inflation and all the turmoil post the Ukrainian war. What's your own sense of how things are going to pan out?
I mean, already we have seen some governments which started increasing their defense expenditure. Right. I mean, the more money goes into defense expenditure, that comes at the expense of education, investments in education sector, investments in social welfare. Those are the areas which are likely to take an immediate hit. But from an IT perspective, like I said, even every analyst is agreed on this, that next 3-4 years we don't see any slowdown.
No slowdown in the next 3-4 years. I have just a couple more questions, and in context of what you just said, how is Europe particularly expected to grow? Because that has been a good contributor of growth in the past. Post what is happening in Ukraine, do you see any impact?
Honestly, no. So the Ukraine crisis probably will help Indian IT industry, because if you look at Europe, Germany, for example, as a country, if you see, Germany IT outsourced work to India is only 11% of their total outsourced work. Bulk of it has gone to Eastern Europe countries like Belarus or Ukraine, all these countries. Now, it has to either come to India or it has to come to Latin America. So India definitely will be a gainer because of the European crisis. Right? Because Europe is not a big outsourcer like US.
Right.
So now they have to, because they will be short of technical manpower in Europe.
All right. One final question, and this is a personal favorite because I know a lot of young people always ask this question. We've got into a BTech computer science program. Depending on your institute, families, parents who have invested so much of their hard-earned money feel that their child's career is made. However, a lot of them, once they graduate or when they are close to graduation, realize the skill gap that exists. So, your advice to such people who are going to graduate this year or the year after, and it's hard to forecast beyond that, and schooling and educational outcomes have also been severely impacted in the last couple of years or more. What should be they doing as far as real world competitive skills in a corporate environment are concerned?
Sure, sure. Great question, Siddharth. You know, their world can't be better than what it is today. Honestly, I believe that. Right, last year, the top 5 IT companies have recruited 350,000 fresh graduates. Right, engineering graduates, phenomenal number. And if you look at rest of the other mid-tier companies, smaller companies, all put together, I will be surprised if that number is anything less than 600, 700,000. Right? And the total engineering graduates who pass out are 1 million. In that, probably 15-20% will be computer sciences or allied courses. So if somebody is without a job, he is not really looking out. Right? And the other aspect is, there is earlier content used to be the king. It is not any longer. Content is coming at a throwaway price or probably free everywhere, on the mobile, you can get it on the laptop. And these are self-learning modules coming from great organizations at practically throwaway prices. And they can, if they come back and show me a certificate saying that I got certified on cybersecurity from so-and-so, we will give a job which pays him 6 lakh rupees. Okay, so we are, today, if we take 100 people, 35 of them are not joining us.
Okay.
Okay, people have multiple offers. They have to upskill themselves, or if there is a gap in their skills, please do enroll into any of the contents that are available. You don't have to spend a fortune at all. They are very, very cheap. For example, you take the edX platform of Harvard, MIT, 30 universities came together. It is free, unless only assessment they charge you. they don't charge for the content, right? I mean, so same is the case with many platforms, Skillsoft or Pluralsoft, right? So many platforms are there today for them to learn, right? I mean, like I said, I don't have to blame anyone if I don't have a job. I mean, they are everywhere. Their opportunities are everywhere.
Absolutely, and that's a very optimistic note to end this conversation on, Mr. Apparao. I really enjoyed this conversation, and especially for all those youngsters who catch this conversation, there is a lot that they can learn from this beyond just the numbers that
Yeah.
you've just declared. Mr. Apparao, thank you very much for your time. Look forward to having you once again in the
Thanks,
future.
Siddharth.
With that, it's
Pleasure
a wrap.
talking to you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.